There we go. We're live. We have critical mass. I think we're good to go. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Everscale Community Call number 95. Good to see everyone back. Glad to see some new faces, by the way. Come back every week, same time, same place. I think we have what I would say is a gold standard level call today. Excellent presentations coming your way. We have Eversurf that you're going to hear from. We have two Everscale grant winners that are with us. And of course, we're going to hear from Mita. We're going to hear from Ben. But before we start, let's do the usual thing that we do and just go through some very simple rules. Please turn your cameras on, unless you're naked, in which case turn your cameras on and do a little dance for us. Please save your questions until each presenter is finished with their presentation. Please use the raise hand feature in Zoom to do so. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a comment section. Please leave your question there and we'll get to it at the very end of the call. We have some questions that were written into us, which we'll cover throughout the course of this call. And of course, everything is in English only. So I guess let's dive right in. I know Mita blew us off last week, but he's here with us this week and has some things to share about technical updates. So Mita, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, sure. Well, so first of all, on the network update, we have started the process on DevNet. It's a very hard, actually very complicated process of the network update this time. It's breaking everywhere on every level, SDK, everything. So I think that DevNet will be operational with the new updates later today. We're struggling with CI currently and coordination of everything, so nothing breaks. But the update has been tested on internal networks, so now we just need to test the migration process. Like the update itself works well. It's the migration from the previous version, which is really hard to do. There are more than 30 changes, and a lot of them are just incompatible. So it's quite a mess. Anyway. I hope that the DevNet will be kind of updated today, later today or tomorrow, and then we will allow for like some days of testing on the DevNet, so reporting any issues that you may have, and then we will move to update the mainnet. Not sure it will happen this week. It depends how the testing on DevNet is going, but well, we're moving with that. So this is good. Good news. It's a lot of it's a hell of a work, and this work, a lot of that is disrupted over the last couple of weeks. Of course, you understand why, as we're continuing to move people from unpleasant locations to more pleasant locations. Let's say this. That's not all, though, and I would like to announce that we're going to release the public beta of Flex on DevNet today. So it's already kind of working, still fixing some minor issues, and we will release the URL, and also there will be a testing group for Flex in Telegram or Discord. Didn't decide yet, but yeah, I mean, it will be launched today, and you're welcome to test. It works on the DevNet. You're welcome to test that and report us any issues or whatever comments you have for Flex. It will still work over the browser, which is not the case. It won't be the case for the production. As Flex is a standalone application, but just for the testing purposes, for the easiest testing purpose, and because there are no issues with the private keys, because of the testnet. Then we will continue like that for a couple of weeks before we move to production. Basically, this version of Flex is the production version 1 kind of release. The only thing we will gonna do before we move to production, apart from audit and verification of the like changes that we made to Flex, and there are a lot of them. Like it's just huge amount of changes that were introduced over the last 2 months. There will be a migration, part of the migration protocol, which we will add. Migration protocol is important because obviously we will upgrade the contracts and introduce new features to Flex. But as you all probably experienced from Broxus upgrade that happened to Broxus products over the last month, you know, it's a problem if you don't plan it ahead of time, right? So it could be a messy stuff. So we have created a special upgrade protocol, and like we want to think about that ahead of time. So this protocol implementation is ongoing, and so it will take us like a couple of weeks, maybe like two weeks to finish the implementation of migration protocol. Once it's done, we will move Flex to production. So subject to testing, of course. So that's Flex news. Then I got questions from Ron. Should I answer them now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I got some questions. First question about DeBot technology. When will DeBot technology develop? Guys, DeBot technology developed already more than a year ago, and it works quite well. Everything you see in Surf, for example, which I hope you will see today as well, it's based on DeBots. And Flex is all based on DeBots. It's just one huge DeBot, basically, or many actually DeBots. And there is nothing else. There are no web servers in the middle. So everything, all the experience of Flex is underneath is a DeBot and DeBot browser working. So what is the plan for developing of the technology? The plan for developing DeBots, so just developing DeBots, that's the plan, and continuing to add features. And Nikita Manachov is doing a great job on that part, and other people who are involved in that. And there will be also a DeBot browser which Flex is based on, which will be open sourced, and so you could also enjoy developing for if you want interfaces like that for DeBots. But other than that, you just need to take DeBot engine, and you can do whatever you want with that. You can develop and so on. So it works fine. What tools are being used or plan to be used? Okay, communication with the community, users of the technology. I don't understand that question, but the probably question not to me. I don't understand what it means to develop communications with the community of users of this technology. Well, this is like what we have now is communication, for example. There are forums and groups and so on. Okay, and then the second question, which is important, and I saw a lot of validators are whining about this, and that's we're talking about dark pools. Yeah, so dark pools are developed, are ready. We are reviewing the one contract right now, which is because dark pools, how they work, you deposit the money in the dark pool, and then the community sends money, like whatever is agreed, doesn't matter. Someone sends money for the second leg of the deposit, and there are parameters of the lock times, 2 parameters of 2 locks times. 1 lock time is how long you should wait until the money is arriving from the community givers, and then for how long the whole thing is locked, right? So 2 parameters. And but then after this first time is passed, then this money is deployed somewhere. For example, in the version 2 or version 3, whatever, DePools, right? The delector contract, let's say, for example. So in order to do that, there is a target contract address set up in Darkpool, and then this target contract has just an empty contract with a set code function. So in order to like get your funds into the new contract, whatever it is, delector or whatever the target contract is, you need to activate the set code. But who is actually need to activate the set code? If just developers would activate it, they can, well, not saying, but it's possible that they could be a malicious attack on the code of the contract and they could, for example, take all the money. So we have developed, it's not entirely part of the dark pool, but it's an important addition. And what we did is we created an SMV voting between all the dark pool members to vote for the set code. And this addition was written, it's done, it's ready, but so that one is just need a review, which will take probably a week or something. And after that, then the other thing that we have been developing, or Provenda has been developing actually, is a front end for dark pools. But that does not prevent releasing this for RustCup, for example, at dark pools. So bottom line, what I'm saying is that once this set code part, set code SMV voting part is tested, we're ready to go. So I think, and then it's administrative decisions, which are not mine. Like that's the governance, which need to take these decisions. The code is available. I will post the link to the code to the repository. It's not on GitHub. It's a private GitLab repository. So I will post the link to the code in some channels, I don't know, today. And you can review the contracts yourself. You will see there are two types of contracts. One is written in Ursus, which you probably won't be able to review, but well, you will see that it's an Ursus contract. And then the translation of Ursus contracts into Solidity. So there will be Ursus source code and Solidity source code, all created by Provenda team. And you can review that. And we will also going to review that. Will take, as I said, probably a week. And after that, again, it will be down to governance to decide when to move and when to distribute the RustCup or whatever money they want to distribute for this contracts. But these contracts will be available. I think that's all from me. If you have any question, please.
Thank you, Mitya, very much. Very interesting stuff. We do have a question, Ivan.
Yeah, as always. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about this SMV thing. SMV for what? For the code which will be then pushed to all of the contracts where the money are deployed, or how?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
So we make one voting for the code. Then the voted code is with this code we update all the stubs.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. And the second question, not really a question. Yeah, this is the question. Thank you for announcing this Ursus thing. I was kind of looking forward for it for maybe a half a year. That's pretty interesting reading. I expect that to be. And I want just to ask, will there be a compile instructions for Ursus, or is it just a code which we cannot touch and change?
Yeah, nothing at this point. It is not a release of Ursus, but just a release of source code of smart contracts that written on Ursus. The Ursus is still in development, and there is no documentation. So like it's an inhuman to release. It's a code by itself is inhuman, and without any instructions, it's kind of inhuman well, exponentially Human, I don't know. So we should wait until Provenda team finds time to kind of make that more developer friendly, I would say. But nevertheless, it's written in Ursus. It's the first actually production ready system which is written in Ursus. I think by just that is already, I think, quite important step.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ivan, for your question. Michael, you have a question?
Yeah, hi guys. Mitya, could you please explain to me, like a non-techie guy, why do we need an extra language like it's Ursus here, while we have C++ based smart contracts and Solidity based smart contracts? So we are introducing a third language, which will, like, won't make the life of the developers easier. So what's the concept behind this? Thank you.
Yes, sure. Well, first of all, I'm not the person who really need to speak about Ursus, and once it's ready to go for developers adoption, we're going to, of course, invite Andrew Lashem, who is an author of this language, to present it. I'll just say just a couple of words. These are not competing languages. Solidity and C++ are high-level languages. Ursus cannot be regarded as, well, it's high-level language, but it's very specialized language. Ursus is by itself translated in Solidity. So you need to remember that. So it's a kind of up or down language from that, depends on what you're looking for. The reason for developing Ursus is to develop a language which will be formally verified and verifiable kind of easily by design. So when you write a contract in Ursus, it takes basically, if you look at the formal verification process right now, which we're developing, and Everscale is one of the leading, if not the leading, I think actually the leading blockchain in formal verification currently. And the Provenda team approach is to actually, instead of taking the smart contract and going through the whole process of manually formally verified, which is very, very hard, very long process. So Andrew came up with this language, which is actually, you take what they do right now is they take Solidity or C++ contracts and they write them in Ursus. Instead of translating them into theorems on Coq, they write them in Ursus language, and then because Ursus is actually Coq in a way, so then they use this to prove in Coq, okay? And that just shortened the process tremendously. Like it really, it's like, it makes the process of formal verification like really, really like 10 times easier. All right.
But doesn't it make the development a bit
No, it is not.
harder?
It is not making development easier. It is making formal verification easier. So, Michael, not everything that you do in engineering is you do just to make it easier. Sometimes you also make it better or safer or faster and so on. And it's always a compromise. So
I apologize.
Ursus is just 10 seconds. So Ursus is to make it safer, not easier. To make it safer and easier to make it safer for people who make safer. So if you, bottom line is, if you write a contract that is going to hold $1 billion, I think for you, it's better to write it in Ursus. But if not, you write it in Solidity. And if you want to go for formal verification, someone will rewrite it in Ursus just to make it easier to formally verify. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Michael. So I apologize. I rarely do this, but I have to cut everybody off right now because we have to get to our next presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
But Mitya will stick around, so we can pick this back up afterwards. So our next presentation, our very own, ever so lovely Joanne, and also the slightly less lovely yet equally as important, Andrei Galushkin. both colleagues of mine, WebRx, what can I say? All friends. But we have some really cool stuff. I'm not going to get in the way. I'm going to let them do it. And Joanne, I know you have to go first. So if you would, please tell us about Surf.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ronald. I do have some things to share, and I've got to share my screen.
Just 2 sentences from me first, while you're sharing. So, hi everyone, I'm Anna, one of the co-founders of Eversurf, the most popular Everscale browser. And the team and I were working hard for a lot of time, and today we want to present some great news to you. And Joanna would help us with the presentation, and then she would need to run away, and we would proceed maybe with Andrew. So Joanna, the floor is yours. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Anna. I hope everybody can see the screen. All good?
Yep, there it is.
Cool. So we've put together a little presentation together with Anne, Eugene, Andre, and more. The Surf team altogether is proud to present the Surf utility token, as well as some pretty great incentives for getting in early. I'm sure everybody knows that Eversurf has a unique user interface and a DeBot feature, which allows everyone of any technical proficiency to interact with the blockchain, which is great. And now the team is introducing the Surf token, which is going to bring this benefit to everybody. So here's the presentation, which is accessible right from the website. Let's go down. One of the most important facts that all of us are likely guilty of doing is forgetting that we are in this inner circle. We're part of this 1%. And for possibly 1,000 different reasons, the adoption of such technology with potential to alleviate many of the world's challenges is still extremely low. But there are, however, some very well-known and well-documented challenges, such as, user interface issues, the reputation, and the paradox of choice, being some pretty top problems that both users and service providers face. So Eversurf has recognized these challenges and has developed the solution, of being a very simple, intuitive, and secure interface. On just one platform, do we have the possibility of connecting thousands of different service providers and users all at once? There's no knowledge of code needed, there's no buzzwords, there's no security risks. We all know it's decentralized, fast, and now connects users and providers. So you can buy and sell, store and exchange, save, earn, collect NFTs, and much more on Everscale, all safe and fast. So for those who haven't used Surf extensively, you may think it's limited to being like a wallet or means to staking, or maybe you've signed some transactions or voted with it, for example, but it's much more, and it's going to be so much more. It's also a secure messenger with potential to replace Telegram. You could browse or integrate your NFTs. You could benefit or build with DeBot technology. You can order a security card, which you can configure for pretty much anything you could think of. Maybe it's just as simple as signing transactions or using it as a private key card for your office, for example, for a real live use case. So there's a reason why Surf may be the most trusted Everscale browser for DeFi and NFT. And it's becoming an all-in-one blockchain tool you need, whether you're a user or a provider. So let's take a look at the roadmap. You can see that the team is definitely not short on things to do. We have a really robust roadmap with some exciting things for everybody, from basic users, those who want to spend their Evers, borrow tokens, trade, and of course, developers and service providers. And Surf is becoming very robust. And don't worry, because tomorrow, the team will be holding an AMA, so we'll have enough time to really dive into the details of everything on the roadmap and answer all of your questions that may come up after this brief intro. So talking about the go-to-market, You can see an overview of the go-to-market strategy here and various ways that the SURF utility token will be integrated. There's plans for simple onboarding. For example, there's a secondary market for DeFi. Hello. Which means we would provide an easy-to-use interface.
Can somebody? Yeah, sorry, somebody put their.
Shut up, you. Just kidding. Yeah. So we would provide an easy-to-use interface for the existing exchanges, like Flatcube, for example. And of course, there's the partnership with the Flex DEX, which is pretty cool. So let's talk about the token. The slides above, you can kind of understand how the SURF utility token is designed to act as a bridge between users and service providers. When I say service providers, it's a range, but you can think of startups, for example. So they will have this interface like a DeBot and benefit from access to the blockchain audience and the SURF ecosystem. I'm sure that everybody on the call, I'm sure you all know what a utility token is, but maybe there are some newbies here or maybe some people who are watching YouTube. So I just want to clear it and say, tell you what a utility token is, that it's essentially a tool that can grant the holders special access or benefits. And some well-known examples are Filecoin and BAT, which is the basic attention token. And they're pretty popular ones if you want to learn more about it to look into. And you could think about a utility token is something that can just pretty much serve about any purpose that a developer wants it to. But they also do have value. They're not considered money as such, as straightforward as like a coin like Ever. But the tokens do provide value to holders, in different ways. Like it can provide early access to future products or services, promotions, and the SURF token is not short of these benefits. There's a loyalty program too. So in order for the platform to benefit all parties, everybody who wants to use it, this is where the SURF utility token can actually shine. Users have a comprehensive tiered loyalty program, and you can see that there's cash back there too, which is great. And the guarantee that service providers are legit because they have to lock their funds. Service providers will lock their tokens, and this helps them to access this thriving audience within the SURF ecosystem and use the platform and tools. So tokens, that's what you're all here for, right? Let's talk about it. So we want to introduce something very special to you. The seed sale has just ended, sold out, and it was a success, which the team is thrilled about. And we'd like to talk about bringing it to you guys now, because we have the seed sale, which was just for partners. We have the strategic sale, which is for the early adopters and core contributors, such as you guys, you find folks on the call. Then we'll have the private sale, which will be for launchpads like Killer Whale, and the community sale here, which is pretty much open to the blockchain community, and the public sale for anybody on the app. And if you want to learn more about it, you just hover over and you can see the time frame here. The strategic sale started today, the 15th, and it runs till the 30th. So you have time to get on board. And each day that passes, the threshold is a bit lower, but it gets a bit more expensive. So, of course, get in early if you like a good price. So as you can see, there's also a dedicated DeBot in the corner that you can just click and it goes right into SURF. And it's very intuitive, easy to set up. If you want to get in early, then I would just suggest to go over to the website, click through to the token, and you'll find yourself over here. And so if you're a user or an investor, it's it's good to know that Eversurf is growing, and we would really like you to be part of this journey. And tomorrow, the surf team will be holding the AMA, and hopefully you attend and ask any question. I'm sure there are some burning questions, and we'll have more time to dive deeper into all the details. And that's about it. Follow the socials, stay informed. That's
Thank you,
pretty much
Joanne.
it.
What time is the AMA tomorrow?
And
I think
Anne
it's
knows.
3 p.m. Central European time.
3 p.m. CET, so that's 2 p.m.
Yep.
UTC. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, waiting for your questions. Would be happy to answer them or to discuss this program in more details. For me, I want to add that our first integration based on surf tokens would be with Eversurf gift cards, presented, I think, a week ago. It is currently in alpha stage, and there you can buy real gift cards for Evers. And with this program, you would be able to get some cashback back. So see you tomorrow. Thank you for your attention. Thanks, Joe, for your help with the presentation.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Anne. Did anybody have anything to add?
Yeah, can I also add a few words?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Anne, for the presentation. Yeah, I would like just add that there are several options to buy surf tokens. You can buy it through the DeBot, and you can also buy it through like BTC or other tokens. Just if you have like, if you need it, just send us email or contact with us directly, and we'll create the order and make a deal. So there are several options. So you can buy it through the Evers or other tokens also. Yep, that's it. That I wanted to add it.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Yep.
We have a question from the audience, Ben.
Not so much a question, just a statement. I tried out the gift cards last week now actually, and it works really well. My other half has a lovely pair of new shoes on the way, so great work to the surf team.
Thank you. Nice to hear it.
Excellent. I can tell you there were a few questions that were written in, but I know Joanne has to run. So whoever else is from the surf team, please stick around to answer those questions as we move forward. Ivan, yeah.
Yeah, will the price of surf token rise to the moon?
Sure.
I know. I think you know the answer. It's not a financial advice.
Soon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, soon
Not
is our
financial
favorite word.
advice.
Thank
I
you,
think that
Ivan.
the price of the surf token will be rising within upcoming 10 days. So in 10 days from now, it will be more than 0.2, and the price will be already rising.
Yeah, it would start rising in 5 days from the 21st of March, and it would rise each day, and the minimal allocation will go down. So if you have just a small sum of tokens to spend on surf tokens, you can wait, but it would be much higher price.
It's the other way around. It means that the price of the token will rise very shortly.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the presentation. Excellent, interesting news. But we have to move on. We have some more presenters. We're going to hear from a couple of Everscale grant winners. Last week and the week before last, we heard from Everscale startup competition winners, and we haven't heard much about the people who received grants. I know there are already questions for some of the grant recipients. So we have Spatium, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way, and GamePay with us. So let's go in order. Let's start with Spatium. We have Vasily. I see he's here with us. Spatium provides a white label client gateway to Everscale. I don't think I need to say how important that is. I think everybody understands it's awesome stuff. So Vasily, please tell us about Spatium.
Yeah, hi everyone. Pleasure to meet you all. And we are really excited to become a part of Everscale community, and it's really awesome what you do, guys. And we hope that with our product, we will be able to rise it to the moon, of course. So basically, what we do is, as you said, Ron, we are creating some sort of gateway for already existing products into the crypto. So mainly that is, and the gateway here is the wallet. So let me share my screen and I will show you how the things work. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So what you'll see now is our demo wallet that is already published in all the stores. And that is where, as a foundation to which we'll integrate Everfirst, together with Octus Bridge, as well as Flatcube, and all those awesome features that the Everscale brings to the community. So from the first thought that comes to all the people, okay, that's another crypto wallet. So what's so special about that? However, there are some sort of features which are unique to the wallet crypto market, as well as we are not like an ordinary wallet. So that's basically what you see here is the box solution, which can be customized to the needs of any business. So for instance, we already have banks and exchange clients who already launched the wallet. We changed the UI here, as well as the branding, and they go to market like within a week or two with already existing wallet. So let me show the registration flow, and while I'll be doing the demonstrating the wallet, I will describe what are the features that will be provided to the Ever community. So the registration is quite simple. All you need to do is just provide your email. And that's mainly it. So what differentiates us from the other wallets on the market is that we do not have a private key. So our wallet is keyless. We use this SMPC, secure multi-party computation, for that. And instead of a private key, we have two independent secrets. One is generated on the user's device. For instance, here it's my mobile phone. And the other one is stored on the side of a server. It could be, for instance, for this wallet, it's Spatium server, and as well as it could be the server, for instance, of an exchange, or for instance, any project on the Ever ecosystem. So, and of course, here comes one of the problems, which is like a regular one for the private keys, is how to backup a private key, and in our case, as client secrets. And for this purpose, we have two options. So currently, I'm not able to do anything inside the wallet. So what I'll need to do is I need a backup here. And I have two options. So the first one is classic. It's a QR code similar to the seed phrase that no one loves. However, we decided it's really hard for the majority to use the seed phrases and QR codes, and we are aiming directly for the majority of users who are not really familiar with the crypto and how things work. And that's why we partnered and created a separate project for that, and it's Anonymous Biometrics, which backups the client secrets. And why we call it anonymous? Because at the end of the day, we do not store any private data of the user. So we do not store any face images, as well as videos or embeddings like the personal face features. Let me show how the biometric things work. So it's quite similar to the Face ID experience. So what I need to do, so you can see my face right now. So what I need to do is to cover the circle by rotating my head. And that's mainly it. So currently, a set of neural networks is learned to provide the client part of the secret each time, like the face features are submitted to its input. So at the end of the day, as I told you, we do not store any private data. What we have is that neural network, which is learned to recognize like a specific individual. And currently, so I can log in inside the wallet via completing the liveness test, and I'll get inside it. So I don't need to remember anything. No seed phrase, no QR codes. That's it. Apart from that, so it's like a classic wallet, and you can do anything with that, like the basic things, like receiving, sending, and that's where the Ever will be integrated soon, as well as the swap and etc. functionality. Another thing we'll be maybe offering to the Ever in the nearest future is the bridge thing. We don't understand how the bridge is important currently to be able to migrate as well to the Ever ecosystem. And for this purpose, what's also special about our project is, since we are using a SMPC scheme, we are able to perform bridge like almost instantly without the need of creating any smart contracts or etc. So in this case, all the cryptographic part will be made off-chain, and we will be able to make a bridge from any currency if we have a liquidity provider, of course, instantly with 2 transactions. So, and the like here, the cryptography as well as the off-chain like services will be like responsible for this kind of things. So apart from that, as I told you previously, so we are doing white label things. So currently we've already launched the Virex. Okay, yes, I want to share my feedback. And that's how the white label integration might look like. So this is how we integrated with the Virex team and their product, and that's where the Ever will also occur. So what will we do is we will offer as well as integrate Ever to all our current and future customers. So all of them and their already existing users will be able to jump in the Ever ecosystem and start using it from the start, from their existing products. And that's what our product really is about. So like going to the already existing products and companies as well as crypto projects, offering them a white label wallets, as well as gathering all those insane amount of users to the Ever, and that's the idea behind it. So currently we are only maybe exploring like the limited customization things in terms of functionality and how this the thing you see can be customized. However, our end goal is to create like a fully community like governed and community developed wallet with an open source ecosystem, as well as with a certain framework of the UI as well as interface. So just to allow all the projects to develop the UI themselves. So we do understand that our team is limited in the amount of resources as well as in the amount of the things we might offer in terms of customization and the features. So in the long run, we want to like stick to the foundation and the core of the wallet, while allowing the community to like creating the UI they want, as well as adding additional features which our team is not able to cover within our roadmap. So that's mainly what I wanted to show you. So if you have some sort of questions, I would be pleased to answer.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Vasily. That was a wonderful presentation, very thorough. We do have a question from Ivan, please. Ivan, we see your hand, but we don't see you.
Yeah. The question is where we can read more about your key splitting algorithm. Maybe there is some white paper or patent. Can you throw the link in the chat, please?
Yeah, I believe we can throw that after the call, after the EMA.
Okay. Yeah. If possible, you can send it to me directly. We've obviously communicated in Telegram, and then I'll have it. But if you do have it, when we go to the next presentation, just you can toss it to me or toss it in the Zoom thing, and I'll put it
Yeah,
on YouTube.
you can toss it in our grant program chat. This is a question from community, so yeah, this is not by me. Just throw it in grant program chat we have already.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Please.
I'll do that. Vasily will provide.
Yeah, sure.
I'll do
Yeah,
that. Absolutely. We have another question from Pavel. Pavel, please.
Yes, hi, thank you. Do I understand correctly that neural network which you mentioned, which will derive user side part of the secret, that neural network operates on your server? It's not, or does it operate locally?
Yeah, I got it. That's an awesome question. Fact. So currently, it's the neural network as well as all the biometric part is performed at the third-party service. So what we want to do, and we do understand that there is a certain risk of singular provider, one provider, and for these purposes, this like a subject of another project of ours and of our close partners, which are Sword. So in these terms, what we do have like in our roadmap is to create a decentralized network for that. Maybe use some sort of already existing systems in these terms in order to make the distributed processing of the biometrics. Because when we speak about the storage of the final neural network, so it's not sensitive data, so it can be stored publicly. The key question is here, however, in terms of processing. So the processing should be anonymous and distributed, and that's what we have in our current roadmap, and that's what we are working on. So in order to mitigate risks here. So currently it's performed on the side of a third party.
Okay, and another question, what the size in bits of that user side secret?
I do not really remember, but it takes not quite much amount of data storage capacity. If I'm not mistaken, it's around 30 or 32 kilobytes. But I can clarify that.
This is it size of a secret? I mean, then I don't think it's possible to
no
write such long secret for a face. So if for example, if you do it second time, you should get exactly the same secret. So I think
yes.
that the final secret should be less than the amount you said.
Yeah, so I was talking, maybe I got a bit confused or confused you. I was talking about the neural networks that we store. So that's
not neural networks finally generates some user side secret, which device then holds. So the question is, what the size of that user side secret?
I don't really remember that, so it's more of a technical question. If you want to, I can provide it within a few minutes in the chat, in the YouTube chat. I will need to ask our tech team. Not really familiar with that.
Yes, yeah, but you understand the importance of that question.
Yeah, got it.
It depends how many. If it is quite small, then you cannot differentiate, or you can even try to mine that user side secret in order to try to process transaction. If there are not enough bits, then you can. I mean, your admin, which has access to second part of the secret, can try to mine user part of the secret.
I got the question. Okay, I will write in the chat in a few minutes the amount of the data the secret consists of.
Security bits, it's called.
Yeah, security bits. Okay.
Thank you very much. We have another question. Mita, go.
Yeah, hi. Very interesting.
Hi.
Great work. I think is it MPC or a two-party computation?
So yes, we have like it's SMPC, but we have currently only 2 secrets. So scheme, we do have plans to like add additional cosigners to that, so to increase the amount of signers there. However, it's still in the roadmap. So currently it's 2.
Yeah, because two-party is a different protocol, as I understand, from the multi-party computation. It's actually not the derivative of this. Like it's a different protocol. But yeah, I understand. If you have 2 parties, yeah, I understand. Yeah, the question, of course, I mean, you cannot compute, as far as I understand, you cannot compute on the user device because it's just too, like it requires too many resources. So in the future, like, how do you really, it's like extension to the Pavel's question, I think. How do you, are you going to use the server all the time and just distribute the servers, or like, how, because you cannot compute it on the phone, right? Or it will take a long time, or am I missing something?
Yeah, what we also have in plans in these terms is if you speak about the second secret, yeah, the one that stored on the Spatium side, we do have plans to use some sort of like other networks that will be performing the calculations in this respect. So we are looking for at like secret network and etc., which will be performing the decentralized like processing part. So we will like eliminate the provider sync. So in order to eliminate the risk of the loss of the second secret or the frozen of the server side, we also have in our roadmap the scroll part. So it's like a guarantor option, the one who will like store both secrets encrypted with each other. It can be a custodian one. So for instance, if the user or like wants to like leave the ecosystem, he can grab the second secret from the custodianship and like restore the private key with that. So in fact, that's the questions that you're asking are quite the ones that we want to address and are seeking to address in the long run. I believe here I would be pleased that we have like guys from a tech team to answer them like in depth, because I'm more about the product rather than the tech side of the protocol.
Don't want to make your life harder. Sorry, but yeah, it's an interesting stuff, and like if you can make it work, then like it would be great. I just didn't see up until now any successful implementation of MPCs like on the user devices without involvement of some kind of custodian and servers and all of that, and you know.
In fact, what we had in our early stage, first of all, when Spatium was created, we do not have like a server component. We had 2 devices. So we were using like 2 devices to perform like signature. So we still had the SMPC there. However, one secret was located, for instance, my mobile phone, and the other was on, for instance, the Apple Watch. So, and I was like co-signing the transaction like off-chain completely. Even without the internet, since for instance Apple Watch can be used without the internet, just via Bluetooth connection, it was like a very secure option. How we decided to go away from this concept, since it was not like very sustainable from the business point of view, because it's hard to monetize the completely off-chain sync without like the service part of the component, and it's not really the scheme that, for instance, the services want to. So the idea that we stick to the server was greatly because we see that there is a majority of users, which is not like 99% of people, who are familiar with the banking experience, and they want like a strong security party that will assist them in terms of like managing the crypto sync, which is quite hard for them. And that's why this ability from one side to be independent, since the secret is stored at, for instance, on my mobile device, and the bank cannot do a thing with my crypto, and that's important. And from the other side, we have a bank who co-signs the transactions, who can perform AML, for instance, as well as all other things. And that's what we think important here. As I've told you, yes, we do had an option to create a fully client-side SMPC with 2 devices. However, that's what we decided not to do for the business and like in the long run.
Okay.
Thing.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, I have so many things going on in my head right now. I expected this to be a lot simpler, but it turned out, like I said, we have the gold standard of presentations today. I think we just moved up to platinum. That was wonderful. Thank you, Vasily. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think you're going to have a lot of questions. Sorry. Raise your hand, but okay.
Yeah. Raising your hand just for the protocol, and the question from community is just dropped out. just happened in my private messages. So the question is, what is the difference between 2 of 2 multisig and your solution?
If you speak about multi-signature as classic one and the scheme we use, so if you speak about multisig, all the calculations are performed on chain. So it's a matter of additional costs in terms of fees and etc. If we speak about the our scheme of using the SMPC thing, so the calculations are performed off chain. So there is no need. So it's like a cryptography based one. So we no need to perform any transactions on chain in order to sign a transaction from our product. So the server and mobile device are exchanged like via internet with via all the data required to make a signature for the transaction, and that's it. So from the side of blockchain, our transactions is seen as a regular one signed by the private key, by a single private key.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have to move to our next presentation. Obviously, we're running over time.
Yes, thank you, guys.
I thought we'd actually have 2 more presentations today. Imagine that. But Vasily, that was cool. Very cool. Okay, next up we have GamePay. So I'm going to read exactly what they do. So they provide play to earn tools and infrastructure to create game meta versions for low and middle revenue game creators and gamers. And Joanne had to leave, but I can tell you right now, if she was here, she'd probably be salivating. So we have Daniel Dos Santos. Is it Daniel Dos Santos or Daniel Santos? Forgive me if.
Oh, hi. Thanks for the warm introduction. Yeah, you can call me Daniel Santos, Daniel Dos Santos, Daniel Dan, whatever you. I've been called much worse, but yeah, you can call me Daniel Santos.
Daniel's the CEO of GamePay, so I've been looking forward to this all day. So please, the floor is yours. Please tell us.
Hey, thank you. So I was told to put my camera on unless I'm naked. I'm not actually naked, but I'm actually
it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
But I'm actually by the bay in Marina Bay here in Singapore because it's 10 p.m. So we're just taking a walk. So that's my view currently. That's my view there.
And what a view it is! I love it.
So to take a step back and just to explain my own words. So yeah, GamePay, we provide infrastructure, tools, and communities for game developers to launch games, play to earn games in our platform. We provide libraries, infrastructure, tools, everything that allows them to launch games in our platform. We are focusing that our target demographic is low income to mid-income demographic in Southeast Asia, but across emerging markets across the world. But our target is mostly in Southeast Asia, emerging markets, and we see a big opportunity because this target demographic is untapped. they've been overlooked by game developers, and they've been priced out of the markets in current play-to-earn games. So they cannot afford to play Axie Infinity games, etc. They're being priced out. So there's one untapped market. So we are making it accessible, affordable for the target demographic to access the token economy, the new token economy. And we see the tokenized gig economy, with gaming being part of that vertical of the tokenized gig economy, as a big opportunity. We're gonna have a multitude of games launching up in our platform. We have our own NFT marketplace that my colleague Ezra is gonna present to you guys a little bit later, but it's still in UAT. And we have our own DEX, and we are creating our game art with utility that is translated into NFTs. So we're in a process of creating all of this, and you guys are gonna see what we have created in about a month from now. We're gonna show you, the live NFT marketplace, our NFTs in about a month from now. We're gonna have our game launched as a series of MVPs, and we just upgraded our game development partner to a company in London, but most of that developers are based in Ukraine. So we're being a little bit delayed on that because they're being evacuating from Ukraine, etc. But we are donating part of our proceeds and our NFT sale to the Red Cross in Ukraine. So we recognize the good cause, because a lot of our developers are now based, or they're from Ukraine. And yeah, so that's basically the overview. And we are a baby. We came out of the belly back in November, but we are baby on steroids. We're growing very fast. But we came out of the belly back in November, so we're pretty new, but we're developing extremely fast. And we are very fortunate to have won the Everscale grant, and it was a very thorough process. We do have some big investors on our side, including Share Capital, which is backed by a multi-billionaire that set up the Saxo Bank, and he's chairman of Concordium blockchain. And we have a partnership with Concordium on the ID verification layer side of things. And we have another institutional investor, which is AI in Singapore, and they're a listed company here in Singapore. So we do have some big institutional investors backing us, and we're developing our tech very fast. But we are not ready yet, so we're a little baby. So a lot of our stuff is still in UAT, still cooking. But saying that, we can show you what we have on our UAT, and I'll pass the baton out to our CTO Ezra, who's on the call.
Yes, Ezra, please go ahead. And if I may ask, for after you're done with your presentation, there's a few questions that actually did come in. They're written to us and also on YouTube. So if you're able to stick around post facto, would be great. So Ezra, please.
Sure,
yes.
With pleasure.
Hey, hi. Thanks, Ron, and thanks, Dan, for quick and clear introduction. So yeah, as Dan mentioned, right? So this is a platform we are developing, and this is also condensation of all the experiences, all the products we have developed in the past 20-25 years for the banks. So if you see our profile, like we have like more than 2 decades of experience in technology, developing financial products for the bank. So personally, myself, I have experience with JP Morgan, Standard Chartered, Lehman Brothers, and in the past I was working with DBS, doing some the stable coins within the bank. So we wanted to put together all this experience and make GamePay. And of course, you all know why we wanted to go into game, and why we want to go into NFT space. So game is actually our passion, and we have a load of financial experience. So we want to combine the game and the DeFi and make it more attractive, because we really love the new paradigm, which is play to earn. So in the past, we all wanted to kill some time and have fun, so we played games. But now in the next generation, people are really playing to earn. So it's going to be a huge gig economy as we go forward. So we really want to leverage it. So that's the reason why we wanted to go. So even going into this market, we don't want to go as developing a single game. We wanted to go in as a platform, like how Amazon, Google, Netflix, they established themselves as a platform, and they made the others grow in it, like AWS or Google, for example, right? So we wanted to develop those libraries, those ecosystems, which can be used by the indie developers, game developers, and game studio to embark into the Web 3.0 journey. So we were backed by intensive research, both in the finance angle as well as in the gaming angle. We found having infrastructure is the key, because this is something which we will need in the upcoming years as everybody starts to move into the gaming and metaverse world. So that actually kind of adds more into our passion, right? So with that, I'll quickly share what we have done. We have progressed so far.
Yes, please.
So, okay, so I won't go here for now. This is a new version which we are building now. So this is the first version of marketplace, NFT marketplace, which we have built. This is very close to the the Axie Infinity, which is our competitor. So this is just you log into your account with your wallet. We are going into Binance to start with, and we do support the multi-chain. So Everscale is our next in the queue, in the pipeline to implement for supporting multi-chain. So right now what you're seeing is in Binance chain. So this is the admin version. For the user, for the player, they will see the dashboard. They can go and choose the chicks which they wanted to buy, and then they can buy. So right now we are supporting both, because it's just NFT, and we are aligning it for pre-sale, and pre-sale of NFT is still okay to support fiat money. So we are going to support both payment by credit card as well as by wallets. So that's how this will go. And so each and every characters, whatever the transaction we make here, that will be used inside the game for both playing the game as well as to accommodate the DeFi angle. So maybe DeFi angle I can show in the upcoming sessions, because there is a massive revamping happening. As you guys saw, the whole UI UX is getting changed as the number of use cases are changing, and also we want to make it more attractive for the NFT pre-sale. So we are combining the NFT marketplace for the game, as well as for the referral, as well as for the DeFi angle. So that's why this whole thing is getting revamped at the moment. But functionally, it will be the same. We are also supporting DEX, a single AMM DEX, just to convert from the other crypto to our own Chicky or Silk token. So these two are, so I'm just showing it here in the dev and the UAT version, but in the real production world, we may not expose this directly as a DEX interface, because we have not opened it as a DeFi yet. But internally, the APIs will be supporting to do this conversion for the gamers. That's how the whole thing will be working end to end. And creating NFT is, again, this is admin account. So I'm just showing how easy it will be for the people to go and create. So eventually, for the game perspective, it is, it's mostly, you go and inside the game, you can do an option of breeding, and you will be able to generate a new NFT. That's how the whole thing will be coming. And if you see the filters, all these are attributing towards the game play specifically. So we have classes like and it is evolving. So we have currently 9 classes, and we are actually evolving our gameplay to support 15 classes, so that the NFTs can be minted more, and there'll be more variation in the games. And color is straightforward, and gender is something, because it's quite related to the chicky chick. We wanted to introduce this flavor of male and female, so a rooster and a hen. So it makes the adventure and PvP game more interesting, with chick fights, a special tournament for the rooster fights, and there are more interesting stuff that will be unlocked up for those who bought those special characters in the pre-sale. So yeah, and then added upon with body parts. So body parts are accessories. There are a few more. I mean, there are high quality chicks. These are all just sample images, so please don't get preconceive your thing with characters here. These are all test images, but there are high quality, close to 3D quality NFT images are getting built. So those will have a body part which will be replaceable, and then according to the gaming stages or gameplay, it can be swappable to tackle the villains. So that's how these body parts will be attaching to the chick to play, and the gameplay itself is more interesting, and the graphics are more user friendly. So you feel like you wanted to play more and have some fun as you play along, and then have a chance to win money as well. So breed count is, again, this is there is a limitation to the number of times we can breed with the chicks we have. So based on the number of breeding it has been done, the number will be updated accordingly. There are a few more attributes we're trying to add. This is just a sample in the UAT environment, but there are a few more coming up to make things more interesting, like special power, like something like a James Bond character, something like mermaid character. So if you have those kind of NFTs in your wallet, then you will have different perspective to your game, right? So if you have a mermaid, then you will have a sea water kind of environment where you are fighting, or your gameplay will be tuned accordingly. So the whole game dynamics, the game background, things are all made dynamic with the NFTs that you are going to hold in your wallet. So that's how we have designed, and this is just a very preliminary software which we are releasing it, opening it up. So it will be more interesting to see how this whole thing is developed. This whole thing is developed as a library. So in the future, so marketplace, DEX, and the DeFi elements, they are all getting built in the library. So if any other new game they wants to onboard with us, they can just use that with few configurations, and they will have the whole software available to them. So it will be purely like an AWS, where you go and click on your infrastructure, what you want, like EC2 or Kubernetes, or whatever services you want, you plug and play, and then subscribe. Then you will have all these things set up for you neatly, and you focus on only the game story, gameplay, and the Unity or any other gaming framework you're going to use. So even on the gaming side, we are making certain libraries that will be useful for interfacing with the blockchain area or blockchain library. So it will be totally agnostic to the game developers, and then they can easily onboard as many games as possible. So actually, we are still I was not quite organized for this call, because I was pulled in last minute. I had different calls, and I still have to go for another architecture review session. So maybe in the upcoming sessions, I can go a little deep into the the architecture part, how the library is differentiated in a modular way, so that those Solidity which we wrote for Binance chain, Ethereum, all those things can be reused for EVM based chain, and then how we are differentiating or making it more modular for Everscale, so that it is all interoperable, Only areas which is specific to the underlying chain will be called by those specific APIs, and the whole game will function without having any knowledge about the underlying chain it is in. So that's the whole idea. That's the crux of where we are. Still, a lot of things are in pipeline for this month. So we work in a completely agile environment. So there is a 2-week sprint, and every 2 weeks we have something getting added. So in the next 2 weeks, you will see our whole marketplace will be upgraded to the newer version that's happening now. And then on the gaming side, we are releasing the first 4 characters. Those special ultra rare characters will be launched by end of this month. And then as Dan mentioned, our Ukrainian colleagues will be working on getting the first version of the game in a sprint cycle once they're ready. So that's our overall plan, and that's how we are progressing and achieving our goal. So within 4 to 5 sprints, we will be in a very good position to launch it to public. So pre-sale will be launching much earlier, probably in next 2 to 3 sprints, and then something for people to go and play around in 5 sprints. That's our overall plan.
Hey, thank you, Ezra. And just to add to that, so in terms of IP in our first game, so we developed our own gameplay. So that's first part of the IP. And then secondly, we have a team of artists in-house that we developed stories for, and characters that we're turning to NFTs. And they may actually become, movie series later on. So that's the IP on our first game. But essentially, we are open platform to allow game developers to launch on our platform. So that's basically the overview. And then, we want to make it accessible. So we want to provide entry-level prices for guys and girls in emerging markets to always be able to afford to enter the new token economy. And in terms of our community, again, we're still a baby. We came out of the belly in November. So things are still very new. We do have community support, because of who we are, what we're building, and who is backing us. So we do have community support. So if you go to Telegram, if you go to our community, you're going to see community support of that. But, we're still very new. This is a few months old, 3 months old community. And we're going to be much more active once we have our NFT marketplace, once we have our NFTs in the market, once we have our games in the market, you're going to see a lot more activity. So things are still very new. So we need to follow the cycle.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. If I may, thank you for the presentation, Ezra, Daniel, much appreciated. Please stick around. There are several questions that came in, but right off the bat, I'm actually getting this live as we're talking. There's a question coming in asking, how is this tied to Everscale?
So in regards to Everscale, we love Everscale because of its scalability. So we need the scalability for our games using Everscale. And, there's a lot of synergistic opportunities because we provide access to Asia, to Everscale. So we give our Asian community to Everscale, and, we can develop great things together going forward. But the scalability of Everscale, that's one of the most attractive things for us. And also, our locality, we have developers in Ukraine, in Eastern Europe, in Russia. A lot of our investors are actually in that location, Russia, Ukraine. And so we are marrying Asia and Russia, Ukraine locations and communities. And we see a lot of synergistic opportunities. But one word, scalability.
Okay. Pavel, you have a question.
Yeah. Do we have something already developed on Everscale, part of a system or whatever?
No, this is a very young relationship. So we ourselves as a company, we only we're going to be 4 months old next in a few days. But we are still very young, so development with Everscale is coming in the pipeline.
So
And
what was the grant from Everscale for?
The grant from Everscale was to develop a product. Is basically what I said earlier, to develop products together, to develop games,
But not on
and using
Everscale.
scalability.
Maybe Ron, so we got the grant just recently, right? So we already had a clear roadmap, given that we will be able to start only after the first, the game is launched, which is like maybe 2 to 3 sprints away. So the current team is focusing on getting the current pipeline out. We are also expanding our team. So once the current sprints are done, then we will start full blown with Everscale. So yeah, that's a time period we already communicated clearly.
Yeah, I understand that. I think I'm reading some of the questions that are out there, so don't mind me. But Everscale, it's not the grant program is for the benefit of Everscale. So I'll read some of the questions.
Yeah,
that
yeah. I mean, I'm sure Everscale knows why he gave us a grant, and we know why. It's basically to develop games together using Everscale infrastructure for scalability.
Okay.
But we don't have anything built on Everscale yet because we're very new. We're only 4 months old.
I understand. So I'm going to read some questions that were written into us. Understand, we're a community. There's well over 100,000 people in the community, but on this call, we always read every question. And some of these might be a little uncomfortable, so please just bear with me. So the question is in 5 parts. I'm going to skip over the repetitive parts, but there's why was GamePay allocated $250,000 worth? They have social networks that have many bots and fake users. I'm just reading what's being written to me. The second part is where did those who allocated token? Okay, that's I'll skip that. Is there it looks like someone basically it looks as if someone of their own, I think this gentleman or lady has poor English, but I think what they're trying to convey is that it looks like someone provided tokens inside a closed group. How is that different from any previous partnerships with Everscale? Why do we allocate $250,000 for a grant, but cannot allocate the same amount for listing on an exchange, for instance? Traders will come from the exchange and there will be more liquidity in the network. So that's like 3 parts of one question. I guess essentially they're asking, the people are asking, they don't understand what the benefit to the network is. That I'm reading and paraphrasing.
Yeah, so benefits to the network will come, we communicate our roadmap at the beginning to the Everscale team. But like I said, it's not clear now to the community because it's very new. So the building is gonna come, as Ezra said, after the game is launched, and we provide the infrastructure for game developers to launch games on our platform, and the scalability of Everscale will be beneficial in that side.
Understood, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Ezra. Understand, we're an open community, decentralized. Anybody can ask anything they want, and it's my responsibility to ask any question that's posed. So
yeah, sure. Regarding the comment about community and fake users and bots, again, we cannot control the whole community in every social media that we have. So we do kick out bots as much as possible. We do kick out fake users as much as possible, but we cannot fully control the number of bots that may actually, go through the cracks. But we do have a genuine growing community. So if we're getting comments about, are we fake? Obviously, we are not fake. We have just look at the team that we have, our backers, and yeah, just go into our channels and start engaging with members of the Telegram community, and you see that we do have genuine engagement and genuine users. And again, look at the team, who we are, our background. Look at what we're building, what has been presented here on the call. And who is backing us, and that should give comfort to the community that we are real. I think what happens is, because there's so many scams, so many bad projects and bad actors, everyone becomes, or not everyone, but there's a certain number of community members that become negative. So they assume, they look for the negatives. But let's not focus on negatives. Not every project is a scam. Let's focus on the positives and on the good projects and back good teams, because to be negative and to throw eggs at the projects, I don't think that's productive.
Absolutely, you're correct. But that's kind of the beauty of a real decentralized community and a blockchain, is that everybody has an opinion. There's a quote that Americans have that I'm not going to voice here, but everybody's got an opinion, but it's our responsibility to make sure their voices are heard. So I had to ask those uncomfortable questions, and I hope you appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate it, but at the same time, we cannot chase every comment either in the community, because if there's like 100,000 community members, we cannot chase every single comment. But we're here to address the main comments.
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Ezra. Wonderful presentation. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of chat in the community, and we're gonna move forward. So
thank you.
Absolutely, thank you for coming. We do have we have some questions that were written in. YouTube folks, I'll get to you in a minute. For the surf folks, so the first is when is surf going to be open sourced? Who wants to tackle that? Mitya, Anton, is Ann still with us? Who wants to answer?
Yeah, maybe I'll answer this question, but sort of ourselves wouldn't be open yet. We'll open the browser, as Mitya said, with DeBots part, but so we have plans to do it, but the Surf it's not open source project.
There are parts of Surf that are already open sourced. UI kit is open source, SDK on which Surf is working is open source, and yes, as Andrew said, the DeBot browser will be open source. That are the nearest plans. So we're still thinking and going to open sources, but not in one day, because we have lots and lots of stuff to do.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Anne. Next question, again, this is one of those uncomfortable ones. Why launch a Surf token sale if there isn't much liquidity on the network? Chess NFT tried to sell their token on the network without any success.
Well, let's see, because we have already so direct messages from people interested in it. I think
I can personally say that I think it's an unfair comparison because the Surf product is it's two different things. I don't know why it has to be compared 1-to-1. An NFT project and the Surf token sale. I think Surf has done an amazing job. I personally put my own tokens, my own money into Surf, so you have my vote, you have my money. So if anybody respects my opinion, they'd probably say, let's do this. We have, is there any information from, okay, this is not to the Surf team, this is a general question. Any information from funds? Can we focus on this? What do you mean? Any information from funds, like investors? Yeah, there are plenty coming. Or if that is to the Surf team, is there any information on funds that are going to be directed towards Surf? I know I'm personally working on that. So I'm not going to give any specifics, but I'm certainly trying to get some funds into the Surf project. I mean, if that answers your question, I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to that. If not, that's it for written questions. Let's go to YouTube. Right. So there was a question asked and the question was answered. It wasn't retracted, so let me read. Somebody says, I'm concerned about the facial features in terms of collisions. I think collusions, maybe he meant any data regarding, say, twins or so. So this is a facial recognition question. This is for Spatium. So if you try to get too many bits from the facial features, it could be not that constant along some person's life. And if you take too little amount of bits from face, can be not secure. Okay. And then it was answered. So we're not really extracting the secret from the user's biometrics. We instead teach NN to provide the previously generated secret each time certain face features are submitted to it. So, but I think the question and the answer, they sort of canceled each other out. I could say that I actually worked in a facial recognition company. There's another gentleman who's part of the Everx team who has as well. And we're actually going to study this a little bit because it's very interesting to me as somebody who comes from that sector. This is potentially really cool. It raises a lot of very interesting questions, questions we never faced, like private biometrics, like privacy and biometrics. It's that's a whole industry unto itself. But we're going to look into this. I'm going to have questions myself. So hopefully we're past the YouTube portion of that. Gentleman asks, doesn't make any sense that the whole Telegram community thing, they have 50 views on posts and 25,000 followers. Who's they? Who are you referring to?
That's about GamePay, I think.
Is it? Okay. So GamePay guys, Ezra. That's the doesn't make any sense that the whole Telegram community thing, they have 50 views on posts and 25,000 followers. Did you want to address that at all?
Yeah, so we have another heckler on the call. Yeah, so we have over 30,000 members on our Telegram, and I will invite whoever wants to join our Telegram group and engage with the members. I mean, to us, it makes sense that we have the numbers of, users or, engaged in the Telegram. So we make the numbers make sense to us, but whomever doesn't think so, just join our group and engage with the users.
Thank you. So there's your answer. So go to the group, engage with the users and see. We have one last question on YouTube. Who do you think your competitor is and why? And again, I believe that's probably to you, Daniel and Ezra. Who do you think your competitor is and why? It's a very general question.
So our main competitor currently is Axie Infinity, but they've been a victim of their own success. So now people in emerging markets in Southeast Asia, they're being priced out of using Axie. So that's why we're filling the gap because users are being priced out, and there's some flaws in the token economics that we don't have. We have a more sustainable model, but Axie is our main competitor.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Thank you, everybody, very much. Does anyone have any more questions for the presenters? And today was a very interesting call. We put everybody on the spot, but with all due respect to everybody that came, this is what we do, right? We voice everybody's questions, and I apologize if it was uncomfortable for anybody, but this is community work. So last call for questions from anybody on this call. No? All right. In that case, and we are running over, Ben. Sorry it took so long, brother. But we're going to go to our final closing segment, and we're going to make it fun for everybody. It's going to be a fun closing, and I have a little thing prepared. So for Ben, you're with us, right? Still?
Yeah, drum
You
roll.
didn't leave? Okay, so
No, I'm still here.
the dude with the ear lube who'll slide in crude, but smooth, and finish before you can call rude. Ben, please. Take us away.
Very nice. Like it. Well, an extra shriveled Ben's bits today, just to keep it brief. Right, so first up, recent news, really exciting stuff. Pi Realty, if I'm pronouncing that correct, pirealty.eu put out a bit of an announcement yesterday. Real estate, yachts, and more, loads more, all using Ever. Check it out, definitely. Community feedback. Our very own Roman, I believe it was, put together a little community feedback form. Help us help you help yourselves. You know, that's what feedback's all about. If you don't tell us, you know, how you feel, then how's anyone supposed to get anything done? We've had a nice kind of start up on the Content Factory. Lots of blogs heading out from the DeFi Alliance, and I've been proofreading and helping out with a lot of stuff there. So yeah, check out the new content coming out. Lots of beginners stuff. So, you know, if people are new to Ever, some really good resources to send them. And just to wrap things up, this one, it's a little bit secret squirrel. I'll probably get in trouble for saying anything at all, so forgive my my enigmatic nature here. But there is a really amazing community initiative going on. A very motivated group of people have clubbed together from the community and are doing something very cool for an amazing cause. Touchwood, I should be able to give you some details on this next week. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. And that's a great way to send us off. Yes, we ran over this week, and I predict we're going to run over again next week. At this point, by the way, if you want a spot on this call, usually we started collecting topics on Fridays and closing them out on Sundays. Right now, we're about 2 weeks ahead. So if you want to come on, do a 5 to 7 to 10 minute bit here, please DM me directly at Ron Millow in Telegram, RONMILLOW, because we're booking 2 weeks in advance now. So
like pillow.
Yeah, like pillow with an M. Yes. Thank you, Ivan, as always. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you again on Tuesday, guys, gals, everybody. Peace on earth.
Bye all.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.